Welcome fans inside the Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Brian Bohl, joined by the head coach of the Hofstra women's basketball team, Krista Kilburn-Steveskey. Coach, how's everything going?
Great, Brian.
Well, Coach, 2 wins last week. The program is off to its best 18-game start in team history at 15-3. Just what's been going right?
Coaching this group, I kind of said it from the beginning of our media day that they are a fun group to coach. With fun comes, fun times and struggle times, but overall, in general, we have just been kind of on this journey and, trying to have fun and find out a lot about ourselves and play together as a team and have a good brand of basketball.
On Friday, Northeastern comes in. It's the best crowd of the year, What I Want to Be Day, and the team really responds. So just talk about feeding off the crowd and that great energy.
Well, great point on that because, we had experienced it at Wilmington and, it's different when it's kind of against you too. So, but at least we had that, and we had that win from Wilmington because they had a good 4,800 streaming kids down there. So then we come back in our home and now they're, rooting for us, and we just really got behind that. I mean, Crystal Luciano was just, putting on a shooting show and, just told us as a group team effort, it was just an outstanding performance that day.
Along those lines, Hofstra's undefeated at home this year. In your opinion, why has the team been so successful at home?
It's funny too, because if you'd asked them in the beginning of the year, if you'd asked every one of them, they sometimes said that they preferred having their games on the road sometimes. So it's funny. I think they just handled the pressure. I think sometimes when you're home, you're friends, and everybody's a little bit different. When you're away, you can just kind of focus on yourself. But I think they've just embraced the experience, embraced the crowd, and they're just really confident in what they're doing. And that's really all I can say. And it's just every game is the next game toward our success. So I think that's another thing that their focus is on, is just every step is just a next level to where we're trying to head in March.
And 2 days later, a closer game against Towson, but still a victory, a 64-60 win. You got a lot of contributions, I think 4 players in double figures. So just talk about getting contributions from everybody.
Yeah, that's a crazy game too. I mean, at the Blizzard of 2016, our Saturday, I didn't want to jeopardize. I have a staff that are in Manhattan and all different places, and it was treacherous. So to me, it's a basketball game, and we turn around and we won it on Sunday, right? So 1 hour shoot around wasn't risking, my folks having to drive in. So, but you could tell that it was a little bit of a snow day when we got started because we were a little sluggish, and it was quite, and it was empty. It was a snow game, so we had to generate our own energy, and then the tempo, obviously, of how Towson runs what they do, right? I mean, it's just not conducive for up-tempo basketball and, the way we like to play. So, I don't necessarily think that we kind of gave up in that battle because we could have continued to press, but it was not a lot of points on that board, so you're not pressing a lot when there's not a lot of points on that board. So it is what it is. We had a nice 10-point lead. We got a little crazy with that, and we ended up winning 64-60. But, it's just another mark, another game of learning, and, we got to play better, next time we face them again. And, but we got the win, and, great showing from Asia. This is what the luxury I keep saying of having the team this year. I know I've been blessed to have a 6 starter in Asia, to have, I always say whether Crystal were making a shot and Kelly had a good second half and Angie was 4 for 5 and they had 15 rebounds. But, to have that type of luxury where there's less pressure on Crystal or even less pressure on Kelly, or Darius or whatever, because you have depth, you have Jaquel, you have Asia, healthy Aliana, you have depth, and we've really been using that to our advantage. So I can't say enough how proud I am about Asia and her role and how she's embraced her role this year. It's dynamic.
And that was going to be my next question.
Yeah.
She scores 20 points off the bench, very similar to the lift she gave you in the Charleston game. And she's had a few games this year where off the bench, instant offense. And just what does that, when she's on like that, what does that mean for the whole complexion of the offense?
I mean, it just takes pressure off. I think, like I said, I made that comment about Crystal. She wants to lead the team and go, and, if her shot's on, she's going to, try to keep, her goal is to continue to keep her head in the game no matter what, because we need her on the floor. What Darius does. Kelly has proven this year that she's just not a 3-point shooter, so she keeps doing that time and time again. So then you have Asia that just, I said from the beginning of the year, she was just playing with just a ton of freedom. I mean, this was the talent that Asia had when we recruited her. And she started for us for 2 straight years, but this is a better role for her. She was never that kid that I would draw the last second play up for. It just wasn't something that she embraced, but she certainly could be the other option off of it. And I think that's where she's just embracing that. And Jaquel has that role too. She loves to kind of give the team whatever the team needs. So, having that in our pocket is nice.
And speaking of players, embracing these different roles, Nay can usually scores
Yeah.
in double figures, but how good is it to see that even in a game when she's only scoring 6 points, she gives you 15 rebounds,
Yeah, it was insane.
it gives you a way to contribute and, really adds to the team's effort.
Yeah, I mean, she had to guard, a really good player in Samantha DeFries on Friday night, and I think that people don't realize that, constant physical struggle on both ends of the floor, and then she turns around and has to play a very athletic Towson team and do the same thing, and just really, I mean, she puts her hands on rebounds. I don't know how she gets them. I mean, there was several. It was like one arm. It was like a Spider-Man where she can just vacuum it up with one hand. So just amazing her. And then our whole second half, we really were trying to get the ball inside between her, and we were to get the ball to Angie. I mean, Angie just had a hot hand, and we're at our best when we're in our interior game and we're going inside out. So just proud. I just want this crew to keep their head down and keep going to work, and don't subscribe to there's no hype at this point anyway. We just need to get to where we want to go, which will be in March, and just keep our head down and keep plugging.
And playing on the road is always difficult in this league, and you have a challenging matchup Friday at Drexel. Last year, Nay had 21 points, 17 rebounds. It was a very entertaining game at the DAC. Just what are you expecting for Friday?
Yeah, what a different game with Drexel, right? I mean, they still kind of try to have their defense. They want to really, control possessions, but it's still a different type of brand. I mean, there's just days we put up big points with each other, and there's days it's been, a barn burner of 50-53 or something like that. So, but, Denise does a great job. I mean, I feel like we know each other so well. It's been, 14 years in running. I think I can remember every play from my first moment of scouting. I always had the scout of Drexel. So, it's just bizarre when you just don't, you might have short-term memory, but you have a long-term memory with Drexel. So, Denise does, like I said, does a great job. Doesn't matter what their record is, doesn't matter anything. It's just another big game that we're going to have to, defend. They shot, last night there was something like, 9 for 38 behind the arc. They didn't have a great shooting night at Northeastern, but they got the win. But they'll be ready. It's almost like whatever they do somewhere else, it's a different game when we play each other. It reminds me of my old days of NC State, Carolina. Carolina might have been whatever the record was when we played them. It was just going to be a bloodbath. So, that's the way it is with Drexel. So they're going to challenge us. They're going to try to exploit us, and we're going to be fighting to keep ourselves and do what we want to do and control what we want to control. So it's fun. I've always had a lot of respect for what she does, and I think she puts a good product on the floor.
And not that you're looking ahead, but Sunday you have a quick turnaround, you come back home, just what do you expect?
Yeah, I mean, again, I do like the way my team is just, handling what we've got to do, because it just doesn't matter what's after Drexel. I think people even could have said Towson could have been a trap game knowing that we have a big week, but we have to focus on, what our next contest is. And I think they really do, believe it or not. I know there's social media, I know there's Twitter, I mean, there's, you could say there's no way, but I think we do a good job when they're with us, and then I think, they're pretty busy. I mean, if you'd asked Darius on Friday, she didn't know Towson was coming Sunday. So I'd rather keep it that way. Let us just do our job. Let us scout and get them ready. Let them take care of business the first time and then go to the next one. And I hope that they keep getting that kind of leadership coming from Darius, because that it doesn't matter, right? You only can play one game at a time, and if they can have that maturity as we continue to move forward, they're going to be able to accomplish all their goals and things they want to do for this year. So just really proud of this group and proud of that type of leadership.
Great. Well, Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you.
And thank you, fans, for watching the WBB Basic Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.